All right, so for when we're talking about any sort of forward or back lunge, what I really want to be paying attention to is that, for one, both my knees are bending, and two, that my knee is not going past my toes. And even so, guys, I really generally personally prefer to have my knee directly above my heel as I do this. So whether or not we're dropping back into the lunge or coming forward, and we'll get into like the difference between a split squat here in a little bit, but generally speaking, when I come into a lunge, once I make my step here, I want to make sure everything is parallel. I'm in one line here. Notice that my heel is popped into the ceiling. This is kind of a common thing that I see a lot, especially with walking lunges, is people externally rotate that here, and then when they square up their hip, they jerk their knee into this position. That's going to introduce rotation into that back knee. So I don't really want that to happen. What I want is I want to make sure that, since this is entirely a sagittal plane movement, that my knees and my toes are all going straight ahead at the same time. So I'm going to step forward, and my heels popped up to the ceiling the whole time. I've got this nice straight leg. Now once I get into this position, I drop straight down. I stop my forward momentum, because if I keep going forward, this is going to happen. And you guys can't really see that right there, but you can see that my tibia is angled all the way that way, and I'm not straight up and down with this back leg. And if I was trying to actually work out right now, I'd be putting a lot of strain onto that patellar tendon, and I don't want that. So when I step forward, I'm going to stop my momentum, and then I'm going to drop straight down. Now, the way that I tend to teach lunges, I say to actually lightly touch the back knee to the ground. And the reason why I tell people to do that is this. Okay? So you see my back leg didn't bend at all. And I want to get both to work. So I bend that back knee and I lightly touch it to the ground. So I'm thinking about dropping my weight straight down. I'm not just, you see when I bend this one, like my body does weird things here. I get a little bit of a groin strain here. But if I go here, it's much more relaxed, right? And the difference between, really the directionality of it is what's going to make the difference between a lunge or a split squat. And frankly, to me, a split squat is just a drop lunge. So different ways that the difference between them is, if I'm stepping forward and I'm returning back, I'm using more quadricep to push me back. If I come down and then I come up to the front leg, then I'm using my glutes and my hamstrings to lift my body up. I hope that makes sense. So which direction I finish the lunge will actually tell me which muscle I'm tending to use more of in that lunge. This is what I kind of tend to think when I'm thinking drop lunges, is that I'm, dropping straight down into that movement. And I'm usually not alternating if I'm doing a drop lunge, versus if I was doing an alternating lunge, or if I'm doing a walking lunge or something like that, or a split squat where I'm stepping back. All of these different things are going to be a little bit different for them, but it's, I forgot what I was going to say there, but I think we've covered the basics here. I want to keep my core tight. I'm going to be vertically over my hips the whole time, and I shouldn't be leaning forward. I shouldn't be traveling forward after I've stepped. So that's going to be your front to back lunges.